And it's interesting to hear that we won't have the budget numbers until it goes before the Budget Committee yet. The Ways and Means Committee will take this bill up on Wednesday, as will the Energy and Commerce building. So we're going to be going into a markup without all the information we're going to need. But on first blush, I think many of us believe that we see a decrease of $200 billion to Medicare. We see a decrease to the expansion of Medicaid under this plan. It means that poorer people will not have the opportunity possibly in the future to have Medicaid expansion in the states. We already see that 4 Republican senators have come out in opposition to this so far because they've seen Medicaid expansion within their states and people being covered that potentially will lose that coverage in the future. We see also that a movement which is typical, giving CEOs tax cuts and tax breaks, and we're going to see poor people paying more and getting less for insurance coverage they have right now.
Well, we're confusing different bills at this point.
Well, no, it's actually a part of this as well.
Because of the Obamacare
there are some hidden tax proposals in this bill that as we go through, we're finding more and more out about that. That's why.
What are those tax proposals? I mean, is it a repeal of the Obamacare taxes that were initially put in?
Well, what we do know is that in terms of the surcharge on passive income over $250,000 of passive income, that's being taken away. That leads to the $200 billion reduction towards the Medicare system. It actually reduces the lifespan of Medicare to for another 8 years, as opposed to another 12 to 14 years. So we see that already happening with just in the first blush. We haven't really had an opportunity to go through this bill yet, and we're going through it now. Tomorrow morning will be the markup, and I can tell you that my Republican colleagues will have some very tough votes tomorrow, starting with whether or not to release the president's taxes. Every committee meeting we're going to continue to drive that issue before we even get to the health care issue. But I have to tell you, after that, they're going to be put on the spot for every detail of this bill and have a vote on that.
Okay, the tax issue for the president seems like a separate issue entirely, so let's just leave that off the table.
Well, the point I'm making is that they cannot conduct business until we have a vote at every meeting. My Republican colleagues cannot run away from this issue, and at every meeting, even on health care, we're going to start off with that issue.
The answer is there's going to be no bilateral cooperation on any bill then?
Well, look, if the bill actually, as we said before, increases the coverage for people, if more people have access, if they have good coverage, and if the cost is contained. Right now, we know under this bill, it could cost seniors up to 5 times as much as it would cost a younger person for that coverage. Right now, under the Affordable Care Act, it's capped at 3 times as much.
Right, but
part of the problem, more than that.
Part of the problem has been that the existing plan, the Affordable Health Care Plan as it exists today, has all kinds of financial problems. Premiums have gone up rapidly and by double-digit increases in a lot of cases because you don't have enough young, healthy people who are actually buying it to support just the basic insurance market of people paying off on these things. It's the older people and the sick people who have gone ahead and signed up, and as a result, you are going to bankrupt some of those situations. There needs to be some fix. Would you agree to the existing plan?
We've said all along we'd want to improve the Affordable Care Act, not throw it out. As the president said, who knew how difficult it was? Well, we all knew how difficult it is. And what I would suggest, Becky, is that Republicans attempt now to change it. They now own this issue. They're going to, whatever effects and changes that do take place, they're going to see just how difficult this issue is for the American people.
Where would you agree changes need to happen? What would you think would be reasonable changes?
I think giving first of all, it would be nice if every state cooperated, if every governor had actually cooperated with the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, that we were allowed to use some of the benefits that were derived from the cost savings, like getting people into the hospital earlier, having better outcomes. Those savings could have been driven towards the insurance industries to help maintain and keep those premiums low. But that cooperation didn't exist for the 8 years that the law was in place.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.